Yeah, so you like this corporate space? I would have never imagined you in the corporate.
I never would have went for corporate.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's not like your typical corporate. It's a little bit more. Well, I guess it's like you're more like new age type corporate, right? Like you're.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that.
Ish.
And
At
I
least the
had some
environment.
experience going through the startup environment and seeing that with T-Rex and Cortex here in St. Louis, and I always looked at that from the outside and appreciated that.
Yeah.
So seeing this environment, and maybe we'll go up on my sales floor because it gets lit, and we're playing the music, and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
How do you guys contacting people? Is it mostly through email or calls or what?
So we've got email marketing drip campaigns. We've got like the search engine optimization, the inbound, and then
Oh yeah.
I run the almighty dial. So we've
Oh,
got
okay.
a lot of things that help us on the back end. You know, we set out these targeted emails. We
Yeah.
these reports will generate that. But at the end of the day, I've got
Yeah.
hundreds of people in a market,
Yeah.
and we're going to say hello.
Just getting on those phones.
Yeah.
Working those phones. Dude, so you follow Grant Cardone? You familiar with Grant Cardone?
Of course. Yeah, I have. We do weekly projects where we'll set it up and talk about just development and how to get better. And his stuff is one of my all-time go-tos, you know, because we'll set it up and somebody will have a question about this, or it'll be kind of on the fence, and
Yeah.
and every single time it's for everyone you want. I need 10 working. We need to be working 10.
Yeah, I just know that, obviously, like the phone space, like selling on the
It's a
phones.
mindset.
That's really his space. I've been on the phones. I was on the phones at Express Scripts for a number of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was crushing it. Once you get your flow, it's really not that hard. I mean, just having conversations.
Grind it to
right?
find it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, but it's a grind. It is a grind, dude. I would have never pictured you here considering like your experience with like gymnastics and like all of your athletic
Well, and with that, I wound up being a big fish in a small pond. There's a cap with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I came for growth opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's something that's
Yeah.
been readily evident.
I can dig it.
And then, like, specifically with the personality, disposition, everything, we can get into economics. I'm not necessarily money motivated. Like with fights, I don't need the money.
Yeah.
It's nice, but I don't need it.
Yeah, you just like
so
to fight.
They were trying to scrub me out a little bit.
Who was?
Like, you sure this is what you want to, like, do?
Oh.
Like, no, I'm good. I'm going to bring the energy.
Yeah, I can dig it. I mean, you got a good
Find it.
personality for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sat down with your brother, right? Yeah. And we had a pretty good conversation.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize just how like decorated of like a gymnast he was.
Of course.
Before we were talking though, he was saying whenever he was, maybe he said it on the podcast, but I'm pretty sure it was before we started talking. He would say like he had your voice in his head, like when he was on Titan Games.
You're talking about that's one specific thing.
But I'm sure but if he said it in that instance, I'm sure like there's like a whole fucking story behind that. That means that like that's your role, kind of like in like the life of your people, right? So that tells me something about your personality.
Yeah.
Like, why did he tell me that?
I'm the cheerleader, I guess. They paid for my college. I did some of that, and then I'm very much the eternal optimist, the person who tries to look at the bright side, the silver lining, the moving forward.
Yeah.
And see the growth opportunity in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Seldom do we learn from our successes. So it's like run towards failure, run towards failure, run towards failure.
Yeah.
And then that specific anecdote. That was, if I remember correctly, I think the David Deaver fight in Kansas City, and it was there, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And the saying is, we'll rest tomorrow. Like, get it done.
Yeah. Like cut the shit, get it done.
Like I know we're talking about Grant Cardone, but I'm trying to think who it is, and I know it wasn't him. But that 5 seconds of insane courage, where you push yourself now.
Yeah, like all you need is just that little bit.
Exactly.
To get over it.
Put it there, and then specifically with that lunar impact thing, that was so cool seeing The Rock go, Derek Scott is a beast, and he's on the edge, and you see that's that week that Zion's shoe blew up and Nike was catching flack.
Yeah.
And then there's that Nike logo right there as Derek's foot's an inch and a half off the back end of it.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah.
No going home without leaving it all on the table.
Yeah. I can dig it. I mean, that's the way to do it though, right? I mean, you have to get it done. So you've always been kind of real intense like in your competition, right? Growing up, were you like that?
Like as brothers?
Just in general, like whether competing against each other with like, fucking around as brothers, or just whenever like because you've been competing in gymnastics since you're a little kid, right?
So I happen to be the most contented individual that I know. And at times, like, I've identified that as a detriment to what I want to do with my life and where I want to go.
Yeah.
But I've become, as a result of that, a very goal-oriented, driven individual in those aspects, so that I can find that little bit of personal growth, little bit of whatever, so I'm going to be happy regardless. But that being said, coming from the culture that I did growing up in the boiler room that I grew up in, it's very competitive, just because,
man,
like Steve Prefontaine says, to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. So it's always, I can, and so I will.
I will, dude. Absolutely. I live by that.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, so many people want to they always sell themselves short. Like, they always put limitations on themselves, and they say, I try.
Yeah, try is an excuse to fail.
Get that shit out of here, man. Like, you can hear it as soon as they start talking, like, they've already... it's funny, I was scrolling today, and I saw somebody's... I think they're about to fight, and they're like, win, lose, or draw. Anytime I hear anybody say win, lose, or draw, I just automatically assume you've already decided you're going to lose.
Devalued yourself.
I hate that when people say that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not about it.
No, I can appreciate that. Because why?
Yeah, dude.
Why put yourself in a situation where you're not?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I just believe that the mind is our ultimate strength, right? On the flip side, it can be your greatest like weakness if you let it, because we all have that voice where it'll tell you, dude, like, you're tired, you're about to die, like, you need to stop. That's a fucking lie, though, right? Like, you can keep pushing past that, and just fucking, like I say, impose your will, dude.
My body is a slave. I will. My mind is the master.
Yeah, dude.
Scientifically, we don't even need to know why we sleep, right? So I grind it to find it. Up late, up early.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Oh, man, I don't know about that. I mean, I like to wake up early, but I like to get my sleep. How much sleep do you get?
As little as possible.
Really? You're not worried about that shit? Just like catching up with you? And some people don't need a lot of sleep. It's a very small percentage of the population that don't need a ton of sleep. But, I mean...
And I don't know.
That's like the foundation of health.
I'm a great sleeper, though. I lay down, I'm out. I sleep very restored.
How many hours do you think you get?
I wake up good. Contingently, maybe on average 6. 6 plus.
About 6 hours?
But I would say it grinds back into that.
Yeah.
And then... Again, if I'm inspired, if I'm doing something, if I'm motivated, if I've got something that's really driving me, I'm up and at 'em. Like we're finished renovating a duplex. We're prospecting another property right now.
Yeah.
But going through that, renovating our flat before the duplex, I'm doing this here, and then I'm up till 1 or 2. If applicable.
Yeah.
Doing that, and then
we're remodeling the house right now.
Up and at 'em as well. Yeah.
And it's a grind, dude. Like, just knocking out walls, and we completely refinished the basement, so like building the frame, and like, fuck, dude, I got somebody coming to hang the drywall, and like I put in the floors myself, and just all this is a lot of work, dude.
Yeah, but it's fulfilling.
Oh, absolutely.
It's fulfilling. The more you give out, the more you put back in.
Yeah, so you're very task oriented.
Like
goals, like you set up a goal and you knock that shit out.
And to use the analogy, I'm a big elephant with a small rider, so I've got to make sure that I'm structured in that, because I'm going to put forth the effort regardless. It's just the things that I do. Yeah. And then I'm going to go about it. The way in which I do the things that I do is pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I'm up there.
So kind of same intensity, just where do you direct it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I keep it on 11.
I can dig it, man. I can dig the intensity. So so we kind of talked about Grant Cardone a little bit, right? Yeah. But where do you go to for like your development? Like, do you have any mentors? Are you like an avid? Do you read? Are you
an avid reader?
Like, what are some books that you like?
I've gone through. We do a book club here that I help put together, and
I can dig it.
Go through.
Yeah.
But, I'm for the classics, like Dale Carnegie, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, How to Win Friends.
How empathic are you? How empathetic are you? And then I got the opportunity to go walk over some coals with Tony Robbins. That was
you did that?
A really neat experience. Yeah, it was a really neat experience.
Oh, tell me about that, dude. Where was that at?
Oh, it was amazing. We went out to, and Derek was there as well.
Okay.
He didn't walk the coals. He
didn't do it?
He gets his sleep, and we wound up doing it at 3 a.m.
Oh. Everybody's a little delirious at that time.
You weed them out. If you're not wanting to step over the coals, if you're not committed to this, if you're not committed to that, if you're not doing these psychological exercises.
Yeah.
And Derek had a fight coming up, so he was just, hey, I'm going to get in my training every single day.
Yeah.
I'm going to manage my schedule and maintain
that structure.
But there was absolutely nothing stopping me from walking over those coals and ripping a backflip after I did.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. But it was really neat because he goes through all these psychological exercises, and my fun anecdote from that is the music he's got playing in the background, because it's very driven with music. You're trying to get people in this state of mind.
Trying to reach that like primal state.
Tap into this resourceful state. That's one of his huge things. Like, where are you? What does depression look like? What does this look like?
Oh, yeah, you're really hunched over. It's like opening up the body, all the language. Well, I mean, yeah, there's definitely science to that, right? Like, the physical way we hold ourselves, it does affect our mind and how we perceive the world.
So he's going through this thing. He's like, squeeze your hand, squeeze your fist, feel the power, feel your resources, feel your capabilities, feel your potential. And he's saying he wants us to say, cool mas, yeah, cool mas, yeah. And I was listening to it, and he's kind of breaking it down, and he's very Tony, and he's got the cadence. But the music in the background is the scene from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah?
Where they're going back through it, and Samwise Gamgee is just coming out as the protagonist, as the real true hero.
Yeah.
And he's giving the eloquent soliloquy and saying, there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. And so as this music's going, I was like, yeah. Dude, you're getting pumped. I don't care if I burn my feet off. That's what I'm saying when I go across this.
Yeah.
There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo.
Yeah.
And it's worth fighting for.
Yeah. I bet that's an intoxicating experience.
That was very cool. There was this dude literally from Africa. And as we're waiting in line, because it's a line, there are thousands of people there.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to go through the coals. I got to have some really fresh, hot coals before I went. And this guy, caught me in this, clap off. I was like, oh, I'm ready, baby.
Yeah.
But there was this guy walking through the line who had a big djembe, and he was just going for it and, really getting into it. Because Tony Robbins is going, cool mas, yeah, the cool mas. And then this other guy is like, no, this is the flavor. Cool mas, yeah, the cool mas, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, all right.
Speeding it up.
Had you hit me with that right away, I might have went with it. But I was already.
You're already on the other tone.
I was sunk on Samwise Gamgee.
Did you burn your feet?
I got a coal stuck in between my toes, and I flipped it out after I got done with my backflip, but.
So your toe was fucking wrecked.
Nah, not wrecked.
Oh, how bad? How bad? Second degree burns on your
nothing? Not bad at all. I mean, nothing to write home about. I mean, I got hit by a car.
I'm sure it didn't hurt.
Nah, you didn't.
No way. You probably didn't feel anything.
We both get punched in the friggin' head. Let's be honest.
I know, man. I get it. I know that state. You get in that flow state, bro. Yeah. It's about that flow. I used to think it was about the adrenaline, but then I quickly realized it's not adrenaline.
That's not the thing.
It's flow. I want to be in that state where everything just fucking clicks, and you're not thinking, you're just doing. It's a high intensity situation. The stakes are high, but you're fucking ready, dude.
That Japanese state of satori. That's why I longboard. You know, if you're surfing or if you're longboarding and you think about your bills, guess what? You're gonna eat it.
Oh, bad.
Eat it.
It's like hitting concrete, I hear.
Oh yeah, especially if you're on concrete.
Oh yeah.
But then it all is about where you're at in your mind, what you're doing. That's a real story. I got hit by a car on my longboard who just buzzed through a stop sign.
Oh, you're talking about longboarding, skateboarding.
Yep.
Oh, okay. You said surfing, and I just went with it.
It's just the analogy.
I got you.
And then more people tie that to it.
No, I get you now.
There's a psychological culture with surfing.
I'm caught up. So, no, I 100%. I was just lost for a second. So you're out here, you're longboarding, and somebody fucking hit you?
Smashed.
What? How long was this?
Ground straight through the stop sign and accelerated right to me. I'm pretty good. I'm a master on that longboard. I'm stopping, I'm starting. I was watching, and then they weren't. Checking the phone.
Yeah.
Accelerated straight through me in this big SUV. Your boy went flying. One of my directors is behind me are you all right? But I had shit to do, So I had a day to go, and then that was the day I was leaving for Ninja Warrior. So I got up, I took a selfie with the young lady, and I had.
How fast was she going?
She probably got up in the space that she went, because it was a bump stop, if that,
Yeah.
and just accelerated straight through me. I would imagine probably a good 20 miles per hour in this
Damn,
SUV.
dude. It didn't fuck you up
Flipped
like...
me hard.
And then
I
you went
flipped. I
to...
landed like Thor. My fucking...
You didn't break any bones, though, or anything?
You catch the wrist. No.
Oh, shit, dude. Pretty fortunate.
Yeah, very fortunate.
And then you went and tried out for the Ultimate Warrior, or
went and
Ultimate
did it.
American Ninja. Well, you didn't try out. You did American Ninja Warrior.
And I'll
after
tell
that.
you what, that was one of the rubs. Because like I twisted my ankle, probably the worst it's ever been twisted in my life. Jumping out, I went and did some ninja. I'm training at one of the facilities that I'm affiliated with. And then after we're done training, did all that stuff. I'm like, all right, let's play some basketball, just because I'm trying to have some fun. I'm trying to keep my state going and maybe get a little cardio in the back end. And so we're stretching this game out, and it's like we've won, but it's like, all right, okay, now it's game point. So the last one, I'm running, jumping, dishing it 2-2 to my partner so he can go get the layup. We have to throw it. There's this post there, like around the post this way, no, around that post that way. And I'm in midair, and I post. Like I'm about to land. I made the toss back inbounds.
Yeah.
And they have these little half moons that are upside down. So it's purposefully made to be as unstable as possible. And I planted right on that. My foot went out.
Ooh.
So I had that, and then legitimately it was a thing. Like I got tossed airborne by that car, and my wrist was all botched up.
Mm-hmm.
But the one apparatus that I took for most granted there is a ring structure. And so I make it to that obstacle when we're actually taping. And one of the women that I know who came up, she says, oh, man, you got to go to this right thing. I was aiming for the wrong thing, the left thing, because there's like these two little things you got to swing to.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take your good advice.
Yeah.
But so she was just talking about the right side of this thing.
Uh-huh.
It has two candy canes that are off, and you can go to the right side or the left side of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the right side of this thing. I got this gnarly spin and whatnot, and I was like, all right, well, now I was a full wingspan away from this other ring. So by the time I get my swing down, I grab it, I'm backwards on this thing. But I was thinking about the next obstacle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so I'm not watching my feet. I'm
obstacle.
facing backwards. I'm thinking, all right, if I'm going to make a run for time, I need to get going. So I go full send, kip it off backwards, facing backwards. And, it's always the unknown, right? Like Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Right.
As opposed to a pole or like a rope that would have like definitive trajectories, either a nice radius swing or something where you're going to drop and then pull out. It's a pull on like a chain. So I was facing backwards, and you don't see when it goes taut because there's a change in the radius, like Bruce Lee's punches, right? The shortened radius effect. And so it went taut when I wasn't psychologically prepared for it, and it's a matter of milliseconds, fractions of seconds or whatever. But I hit that water, and I was so incredibly frustrated with myself.
Yeah.
Came out, got a towel, didn't want a towel, but
just frustrated.
Seldom do we learn from our successes. I get to build on it, and hopefully get the opportunity to do it again.
Yeah.
Made some great contacts and had an amazing time. We came back and did the Indy 500 on the way back from Cincinnati.
Oh, that's cool.
Did the Snake Pit.
That's dope.
Yep.
Yeah. What's the interview process like for a show like that? I mean, you've tried out before, right? Like several times prior.
It's extensive. You got to send in a video.
Yeah. Go
every
through all
year
that.
and hit that. They scrub you. They try and figure out who's got the best story. Those kind of things.
Yeah. TV definitely makes
I've met so that next week I was a clinician at a gymnastics camp, and if anybody's listening, Taryn Humphreys is a decorated Olympian, and she got to do American Ninja Warrior on one of their first seasons, and she had
dope.
kind of a, not the greatest experience either, where it's like, let me run it again, and I got it. Let me play it back.
Yeah.
At the time, I was like, Derek was there, Zeke, my little brother, was there. I was like, Zeke, right now, could crush this. And it was at 3 a.m. Zeke could, everybody who came out with me closed the bar across the street from it down. But I was like, Zeke will do this right now. He'll at least get to the salmon ladder.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
But you move forward.
I mean, that's how you learn by doing. At least I learned that. I learned best that way. I learn by doing
Of
for
course.
the most part. Like, I can see somebody do it, but until I actually put my hands on it, like that really ingrains in my brain.
It's like jujitsu, right? Oh, you need to feel it one time really quick.
Yeah, for real, dude. For real. Get those, lay down those myelins.
I only got to go train when Derek was with Safe down in Texas one time. But that guy, I think every technique he demonstrated at least once to where someone felt it, and you know it. That guy,
dude,
that guy was whacking everybody on the back of the heels, doing duck walks and stuff like
shit.
that. It was
that's intense.
100% culture driven.
Yeah,
you know, because
some places are like
that.
that.
That anecdote, we split it into 2 teams, and it was a duck walk race, like relay.
Yeah.
First team with everybody back is good. Team that doesn't do it has like burpees. And then as they're doing burpees, he's whopping people with this big stick. I was talking to one of the guys on my team, and we won every time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not going to make them better in this moment.
Yeah.
But he didn't care about that moment, right? You're grinding for it in the cage.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality. So,
yeah.
You know, that's where he was focused as opposed to, you know, improving their performance on that next one.
Yeah.
Just to grind it into them.
So are there any books that you really recommend to your sales team to read?
Literally
like
dozens.
Any
I keep a library. There is a book called The One Thing that just in this culture.
Okay, I'm digging it. I'm reading that right now.
Are you?
Yeah,
okay,
you like
so
that?
Literally every person in this company reads The One Thing.
Oh, okay.
And then right now as a director team, we're going through Why Motivating People Doesn't Work and What Does.
Yeah.
For our book club, I told you we're going through. We're doing Back to Human.
Yeah. Okay.
And there are a lot. I mean, there's so many just opportunities.
I read
for
a ton, so I'm always just trying to get
development.
recommendations. Yeah.
So I always try and have just personally a couple things brewing.
Yeah.
And then with that, like
you do audible
we
audible
trade
books?
Them. Yeah, of course. I've got the subscription, and you know, that half hour on the way into work and back is either time to turn your brain off or time to turn your brain on.
Yeah, I can dig it. So what's your with this work schedule, right? Like, I mean, you're still training. It appears. Like, what's a day look like for you as far as training, or like when are you lifting 4 days a week, or how many days a week are you lifting? Are you like, what are you doing?
I will lift 3 or 4 days a week, depending. You know, whether that's body weight, calisthenics, whether I'm doing time and retention exercises in the gym. I like to try and get some central nervous system loading in. As far as, you know, it's just fun to move big weights. But then on top of that, we rescued a Belgian Malinois, which is a very cool dog. So that thing, it's like a German Shepherd.
Okay.
We were pitched it as it's a rescue.
So it's a big dog?
Smaller than a typical German Shepherd.
Okay.
We were pitched it as like an off-bred German Shepherd Husky kind of mix.
Okay.
But it's definitely all of the indicators of being a Belgian Malinois, which I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's another breed used for police training. She's an incredibly smart dog.
Yeah.
And then while I was still under the impression that she was part Husky, I trained her up on the harness and the longboard. So when I have time to be leisurely, you know, we go up to the science center on the longboard.
She'll ride the longboard with you?
And it's a lot of fun.
That's
she doesn't
dope.
ride the longboard, but she tries to pull when she can, you know.
Okay.
And I'll try and pull her. And then, you know, I'll at least get her for runs and, you know.
Yeah, it needs a lot of activity.
Beat the dog home. She's just fun to ride around with.
Yeah.
But I'll do that. I'll try and get in with as many different training partners as possible and kind of mix it up. I made Derek wrestle out in my backyard like 2 or 3 days ago. I was like, all right, we're about to get this.
That's funny.
For 45 minutes. I made him wear a gi top. He wasn't into that in the sun.
That's hilarious. So how long is he in town for?
It's very contingent. He's got a pilot that might get picked up right now, so he's going to be
that's dope.
He's got a few things that are floating.
I can dig it.
Yeah,
because he lives in California, right?
Yeah, he's back and forth right now because he's got some opportunities contingent, and then he is, you know, it's variable.
So you had his ass outside on the mats.
Oh, in the gi on like a you know, like an outdoor rug that I laid out in the by the garden.
That's
it was
funny.
Nice, like as far as a Mortal Kombat environment. I love that.
You can train anywhere, dude. The world's a fucking
everywhere.
playground.
Just like legitimately speaking of that, myself and Trayvon, for like a bit there, it was just, all right, I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go somewhere. And we'd go like, oh, it's raining down in the you know, playground in the city, and we're going ham. You know, late at night, and it is what it is. Get in where you fit in.
Yeah, man.
So again, with that, I try not to be too strictly regimented there. not so much what I do, but the way in which I go about doing the things I do.
Yeah.
You
Just
so
try
I
to get it in
really
everywhere.
like to jump in.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what you're training, like, leading up, because you got a fight coming up,
Of
right? I mean,
course.
how do you structure all of that?
Of course. So it's just as much as possible. I'll try and ramp it up to where I'm getting at least, there's no 0 days. And then beyond that, depending on how it's structured, obviously you do your technique. Obviously you do your conditioning.
Yeah.
And I make sure that I get that in. And I make sure that I get in some different looks. So I typically have, like, okay, I'm going to check these boxes. And I need to accomplish these things before this fight.
Yeah.
A lot of times, especially, if I'm walking heavy and I'm fighting at 170, which isn't really happening these days, but a lot of it will be contingent around weight.
Yeah.
Because that's so scientifically regimented.
What are you walking around at right now?
I'm north here, and right now we might meet at 205 for this fight.
Oh, okay.
So, and if I fought at 205 on the regular,
yeah,
I'd be doing the buffet much more frequently.
Well, you feel good, right?
I feel great.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I feel great?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you fight heavier, you'll feel better, right? Because you're not
I still
cutting
feel
weight.
pretty good at 170, man.
Yeah.
Well,
then why aren't you cutting the weight? Because it's too much fucking weight.
Not for me.
How much you weighing right now?
In the 2 bills. I'm solid in the 2 bills.
That's cool.
And it is what it is.
Yeah.
I feel as long as I've got like a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I can calorie restrict from like 230 down.
Yeah.
I cut from 275 to 170 in high school for
Yeah.
wrestling. That one
It's not
I would
fun,
not
though.
recommend.
Dude, I used to fight
The
at
rest of it, though,
170.
yeah.
It's not fun, bro. I used to cut from 95, 200. It's not fun. I mean, I had it down to a science where, like, you're right, you don't feel like total shit, right? But let's just say they had, like, a 75.
Weight class, that 5 minutes.
That 5 pounds.
It does make
really
a difference.
Does
it
make
really
big difference, dude. Like, it's not fun to make it. It doesn't mean you can't make it and feel well, but you can feel a whole lot better with a little bit more meat in your, like, on your bones, a little bit more food in your stomach.
Well, and for me, I'm pretty Dr. Manhattan on that. Like,
Yeah.
I was a vegan for 3 years, and you have the pangs of, I'm not strong today because I didn't eat meat or whatever. And a lot of that is psychological. Like, when I fast, I'll fast once a year or so, and it's just, I'm just absolutely eating zero, Just
I fast on a regular
cayenne
basis.
paper, and you very much distinguish in those instances.
Yeah.
All right, this is my psychological like appetite here,
Yeah.
as opposed to my physiological hunger that I'm getting this instance from.
Right, and meat, I don't take that so literally, right? I mean, there are definitely plenty, like, I personally eat meat, but you don't absolutely need meat. I don't even eat meat every day. But with that being said, nutrition-wise, right, like, you don't want to be void of any nutrition.
It's just complete proteins.
Right.
Like, if we're talking specifically about the
just to get your
the
nutrition,
vegan
right? Like, you
stuff,
feel better when you have more food.
It's just complete proteins. And then, from a caloric standpoint, it's calories in versus calories out. And then, again, like if I were fighting at 205, which I wouldn't because these guys are 6'5".
Yeah, you fight at 85.
So it's reached. Yeah, it's a fight is a fight, right?
Yeah.
But I could put on more muscle mass without having to deplete that. So right now I have to look at it as, okay, what's my lean muscle mass? What can I actually cut to? Where can I water manipulate?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that back-end science that goes into that.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's going to wind up being catch weight 180, 185, 205, it's like, catch me in the gym. Because I'm going to eat some buffets and I'm going to load my central nervous system more adequately.
Yeah. So what are you eating like nowadays?
Like on the daily, I try and meal prep Sunday. Go meal prep Sunday. I've got a very lovely young lady girlfriend, Miss Bianca, helps me out with that.
Yeah.
She helps me pack my lunches and make sure I'm well taken care of. And then, I've got a garden, so I eat a salad from the garden every day, and just literally as much as is convenient and possible at times.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you fuck? What do you know about your guy you're fighting, or do they have an opponent for you? You're fighting like
I'm gonna wind up fighting Dwayne.
Okay,
Diggs.
you are gonna fight Diggs.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as that matchup, we've seen each other from across the way, and we've been in the same gym together.
Yeah.
We've been acquaintances for a long time here.
Where does he train at now?
River City.
Okay. I don't think it's been a little bit since I've seen him fight.
Yeah.
What's his record?
something. It's Dwayne. You know,
like it is what it is. You care who you fight.
It's kind of one of those. We went up into it.
Yeah.
You know, it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes it's like, you know, you don't know. All right, well, eventually this one's going to happen. Eventually that one's going to happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're in the cards. Sometimes it just never happens.
Yeah.
You know, but
I never really cared who I fought for the most part.
Why? I'm focusing on me.
Well, yeah, and they would just send me opponents. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
And then
I don't think I ever said no to anybody.
Next guy or this or that. For me, and I everything has its pros and cons, right? But I'll go through and I do, like, because I do try and get different looks. I will try and, if I have access to a training partner who's going to be able to push me or I'm going to be able to provide value in, I'll do that. So unfortunately, I do have individuals who are going to be in the weight class, in the running, that I've met as acquaintances. So sometimes it's more so that it's just like, all right. So like Wes Powers, I cornered in his first pro fight, and then they've got us headlining at Lumiere here, and we're eating in the buffet after weigh-ins together.
Yeah, it happens. It's nothing personal. It's just business.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. I mean, we spar hard in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, you just turn it up to 11 and somebody's coming home with a paycheck. Winner buys the drink.
Yeah. I kind of got to the point to where I didn't really want to fight anybody from St. Louis, though, because I had trained with so many people.
That's what I'm saying.
It was like, why are we fighting each other when the real goal is to make it out of St. Louis, right? And fight everybody else, right?
I'm 100% on that page. And then anecdotally, I actually just referenced this earlier because it's kind of an interesting thing, right? I'm a pacifist, theoretically. Violence is not a valid form of conflict resolution.
Yeah.
And so people will ask, well, then why do you fight? It's because I like fighting. I like pushing myself. But as a child,
pure form of competition.
In Little League Wrestling, I quit Little League Wrestling because in the state competition, I was bracketed up, and it wound up being I was going to have to wrestle one of my friends.
Oh, yeah?
I said, I'm done with this.
I
didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to be eloquent in stating that as a young child, but
you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm not going to do it. And that's why I like, you know, if we're talking jiu-jitsu or something like that, if you're bracketed up against someone who's from your same gym, what do? You go out there, you bow. Life is good.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Or you could compete.
Yeah. And hey,
like in jiu-jitsu, no one's really going to get hurt that bad. Yeah. But fighting. Some people don't like to fight their friends. I remember one time as an amateur, I had a buddy I went to high school with, and somebody offered me a fight to fight him. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I think he was surprised that I said yes, just because I was like, fuck, dude, we fought in school before when we were like younger, so and he turned out to be a pretty good friend. Well, I mean, at that time he was. Yeah. And yeah, dude, it's just all business. Yeah. But, I mean, you get over it.
It's weird, though, and it kind of comes around, and maybe there's that little bit of sticker shock, but...
Yeah.
All right. Put it on the books.
Yeah. Well, dude, let's wrap this up. It's been a good chat.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Shit, dude. Let the people know how they can check you out or get a hold of you on social or anything like that.
Yeah, check me out on social media, Shaun Scott. I've got an athlete page.
Yeah, or do you have any sponsors coming up for your fight that you wanted to shout out, or just anything you want to plug, dude? This is your time.
All right. How about this? We're sitting in my place of business. If anybody wants to come and enter into sales and marketing, send me your resume. Open it up.
Where do they send that to?
That's a fun one. Scott, SCOTT, at abstract, ABSTRAKTMG.com.
There you go, dude.
We're growing. Always be growing.
All right, brother. Hey, man, I'll catch you later, and everybody, I'll check you next time.